District 7, welcome to the 21-22 school year, when we will show the world the power of one. This year, I ask each of you to reach within to find your power. The power of one teacher, the power of one bus driver, of one maintenance team member, the power of one guidance counselor, of one nurse, of one front office worker. In whatever role you serve in Spartanburg School District 7, you are uniquely positioned to make an important difference in our District 7 family. This year, I ask you to join me and us join together to create the power of one school district, and yes, of one District 7 family. When we all work together with a laser-like focus on our mission to inspire and equip our students, driven by the belief that everything we need to positively impact our students is within each one of us. District 7 is truly unstoppable. The power of one.
Good morning. I'm William Holmes, a senior here at Spartanburg High School and a proud member of the Vikings baseball team. It is my honor to welcome all of you back for the 2021-2022 school year and to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Jim Morris. Mr. Morris is a former high school science teacher and a coach in West Texas who miraculously made it to the major leagues at the age of 35. His life story made cinematic history with the blockbuster Disney movie, The Rookie, starring Dennis Quaid. Mr. Morris pitched 2 seasons for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, reaching speeds up to 102 miles an hour. The only time I've seen that speed is on the interstate, but don't tell my mom. Before he retired in order to raise his children. Since 2002, Mr. Morris has been inspiring audiences around the whole world to follow their dreams and never give up. In his latest book, Dream Makers, Surround Yourself with the Best to Be Your Best, Mr. Morris shares more about his life story and the people who helped him make him the successful person he is today. He has been honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Bobby Bragan Youth Foundation and has served numerous youth and philanthropic efforts, including launching his own foundation in 2015 to support underserved communities and children. Mr. Morris and his wife, Shauna, who is with him today, have raised their 5 children in Texas. Please help me give a warm District 7 welcome to the real-life inspiration for The Rookie.
15 years ago,
you got your shot at baseball. You got hurt.
Jimmy Morris put his dreams aside.
Hey, Coach, you want to throw? I'll throw a couple.
Yeah, Dad, bring the heat.
But sometimes, when you least expect it,
Oh, my God!
dreams come back to life.
I threw today.
How hard?
Pretty hard.
Anybody want to tell me how we lost that game? You quit out there.
We start winning, you try out again.
All right.
It started as a simple bet.
It was this thing to get the kids to start playing.
Don't hurt yourself. You just threw 98 miles an hour.
No.
It became the most incredible true story in baseball history. Dennis Quaid.
Do you know how many guys can throw the ball 98 miles an hour?
Yes. Not many.
Walt Disney Pictures presents The Rookie, now available on Disney DVD and video.
Thanks, everybody. How are y'all doing? Coming back. We're getting ready. Things are going to take off. We got the kiddos coming back. And when I heard the power of one, a lot of things ran through my mind, good and bad, throughout my life. And it's always been one person who has steered me one direction or the other. But first, let's just start off. When the movie came out in 2002, President Bush was our president then, loves baseball, owned a Major League Baseball team. Wanted to see the movie and talk to us. So my son and I went to the White House. President watches the movie. He looks down at Hunter, who is 10 years old. He goes, "Hunter, are you going to be a ball player like your daddy?" And my son looks up at the president of the free world and said, "No, sir, baseball sucks." The baseball brain is going, "But I like baseball." The dad part was going, he said, "Sir, that's cool." At 10 years of age, he told the president he wanted to be a lawyer. He's 30, he's a lawyer. We all have different dreams. Being an athlete for me And being in between those white lines was one thing I could always count on, because in between those lines, I could be the kid I was supposed to be. When I taught and I worked in schools with kids, inevitably, we don't know what goes on for them to even get out of their own house. And once they get out of that house, what is it going to take for them to get from their house to the doorstep of the school? What happens in the parking lot, the hallway, the bathrooms? We don't know. Have a little grace. Have a little humility and realize we're not perfect either. And I had a teacher come up to me and go, "That kid is the worst kid on the planet." 5 years ago, I got a letter from that kid. I had him for 2 years in my science class. You know why? Because he failed. But every day, I engaged with him. Every day he walked in, I would go, "Hi, Edward, how's it going? Do you need anything?" "Hi, Edward," for 2 years. 5 years ago, I get this letter from this kid, and he goes, "Had it not been for you taking an interest in me, I don't think I would be here today. I'm now married to the love of my life. I have 2 beautiful daughters I would die for. And I own an oil company." We all have different dreams. We all grow up at different rates. Our maturity levels are different. There is one constant: the people sitting here right now and the people watching on film, they're not listening to everything you're saying, but they are absolutely watching how you say it. The power one for me, first of all, when the movie was getting ready to film, they kept calling me in to meet people. Everybody's thought, hey, if I had somebody play me, who would play me? So I got to meet the guy, the president of Disney, and he goes, "We got these people lined up." I'm like, "Yeah, who wants to play me? I'm old, I'm fat, whatever." He goes, "Brad Pitt." And I went, "I look good." Aaron Eckhart, Matthew McConaughey, Jim Caviezel. It's been an incredible journey watching your life put on film and then watching the amount of people it affects. One person, one movie, one baseball team, one school. The power of one. Growing up in the military kid, we moved north, south, east, and west. My father was physically and verbally abusive. On the outside world, nobody would know that. He has the greatest sense of humor on the planet. Behind closed doors was a different story. Holding my little brother one day, he looks down at me and he goes, "This is the one we wanted. We never wanted you." Folks, remember, we have all these stories coming into our class every day, and everybody's story is their own and their power of one, and that's all they know is what they see and what they hear. My high school football coach, he taught me it doesn't matter how big, fast, or strong you are. If you have more heart and a better plan, you're going to win. We were never the most talented team on the football field, but we won because we would not be beaten. Practice isn't perfect. Perfect practice is perfect. So we got to play 39 on a 40-play sheet on a Monday afternoon class, and we mess up on number 39, we go back to 1 and do it all over again. Repetition of positive things are going to help the outcomes with your interactions with your kids. They've been locked up, they've been locked away, then they come back, then they get locked up again. We put mask on, we take mask off. We're having a hard time as adults dealing with all the changes. Let's make it easier for our kids. Next one, power of one. Athletic director and head football coach at Reagan County High School in Big Lake, Texas, where the movie takes place. And just for everybody's information, there is no lake in Big Lake. Don't vacation there like I've had some people tell me they did. And I'm like, why? This guy stops me on my way to baseball practice in 1999 when the movie takes place to tell me, you've taken these kids as far as you can. These kids are losers, their parents are losers, they're never going to amount to anything. They're probably not even going to graduate from high school. They're stuck. And then he put his finger in my chest and he said, you may be a great baseball coach, but you're always going to come in last to people like me because you're too nice. And I thought, and they put you in charge of everybody. That's awesome. You see, I've been screamed at and cursed at and hit my entire life. I did not get into teaching and coaching so I could berate other people that I wanted to feel superior to. I don't talk at kids, I talk to kids. And when they find that out, they respect you a whole lot more, and they will love you and they will break their backs for you. 2 of my kids are around the corner from where this athletic director said that to me. I didn't see them. Before I could get to the field for practice, everybody on the team knew. So when the movie opens up after the nuns, 15-1 and 15-0, we don't have 15. What do? It's only a power of 1, right? Number 1, when I quit baseball the first time, I went to college. The first professor I had was Dr. Roth. It was a summer class. It was anatomy and physiology. He said, I don't know why you people do this to yourselves. That is not the class to take during the summer. I took it. Me and 19 other people. All female registered nurses. And I'm in there by myself. He gives the first test out. Keeps me after class to give me mine. And he hands it back to me. The dumb kid. The kid that'll never amount to too much. The kid who better be an athlete. Hands me my test back and he goes, your answers are better than my questions. You need to go to medical school. Straight A's, honors fraternity, honors graduate. You see how one person in the power of 1 can change attitudes and altitudes, I'm telling you. From 15 to 18, I lived with my grandparents. So this is actually the power of 2. They're married, power of 1. They were my father's parents. For 15 years, I watched my parents do horrible things to each other. At 15, though, they came to the same conclusion, and it ends up being the best thing for me that ever happened, and they have no idea they did it. They sent me from their house in Florida to my grandparents' house in Brownwood, and it's my grandparents who taught me to be a good man and a good human being. My grandmother was our church secretary for 30 years, so we had faith in there. They taught me about a sense of humor. They taught me about if you make a promise, live up to it. People don't care what you say. They want to see what you're going to do. And for those 3 years, I never heard my grandparents say a cross word to each other. There was never anything negative. They were always building each other up, not tearing each other down. That makes it a lot easier. And when you see that picture, that makes you want to focus in on it even further. So my 2 rules when I walked into my grandparents' house, if you do it, own it. Own it, live up to it, and move on. And number 2, if you always tell the truth, you don't have to remember what you said, because the truth is the truth. It doesn't change. Simple enough. Those were my rules. School was fun. Somehow I got married and all that. The first part of my career didn't happen. If you see yourself in the mirror, and you talking to yourself out of your own dreams or the things that you need to do, we need to change that. For a long time, doctors would tell me, you need to do this with your arm, you need to do that, and this is how we're going to get in shape. And I thought I knew better than they did, and so I did what I wanted, and I always ended up hurt again. We encounter so many powers of 1 each and every day. The one thing I want to press on you guys is to surround yourself with the good power of 1s. My grandparents, those high school kids, who when I pushed them, the kids pushed back, and we made each other better. We made each other successful. They win. I have to live up to my end of the bargain. I'm 35. I should be retiring from baseball, not getting into it. I'm bald. I'm fat. Every excuse you could come up with. I look like a baseball scout, not a baseball player, and the kids talk me into it. If we win a district championship, you try out. They did. And then I had to try out. I show up at the tryout, Howard Payne University in Brownwood, Texas. Nobody would even play catch with me. Everybody was 18 to 24, except for me and my 3 kids at the time who were 8, 4, and 1. The scout looks at me and goes, how many kids you bring to the tryout? I said, I brought 3. He said, no, 2 tryout. He said, well, I made a promise to a group of kids that if they did something nobody thought they could do, I would try to do something I know I can't do. Be embarrassing, humiliating, you get a great laugh out of it, but I'm doing this because I promised. He goes, okay. Everybody's got to throw, hit, and run. Do you want to run? I said, no, sir. I did not promise to run. I promised to throw. I have to wait 4.5 hours. Everybody runs, hits, and throws. They call me out to the mound. I throw. I walk off the mound. He meets me at my car, and he goes, I remember you back at Ranger Junior College. You were tall and thin and threw like 88. I said, yes, sir. He said, I don't know what you've done your time off, aside from eat. But the first pitch you threw was 94 without warming up. Everything after that went up to 98. Immediately, the male part of your brain goes, I throw gas. The educator part of my brain went, you've been throwing 98 at high school kids. You're getting sued is what you're getting. He said, look, you're going to get a phone call. Don't be surprised by it. They're going to want you to throw again. He said, today when you came in, you told me your age was 35. I've already changed it to 32. And I said, so when I come back, can I be 29? He didn't think it was funny. I'm like, well, I lost 3 years. I go home and I call my high school kids. Coach, you told us that if we ever had our dream in front of us, you'd take it. You don't look back, you don't look around, you get after it and you go. Go chase that dream. My honest answer was I was lying. And then I invited my high school kids to watch me pitch again. Along with my 3 kids, who now they babysit my kids. In pouring rain, you see the movie, you'll know. So bad they had to hand me a brand new baseball every pitch, 98. Sign a contract. Now this is going to get to you. I took a pay cut from teaching to play minor league baseball. You take a pay cut from teaching, you're poor. 3 months after we make the bet, I try out. 3 months after that, I'm in the big leagues. Not because it's something I wanted, but it was because of a promise I made to a group of kids who I was trying to get the best out of. If you do this, I'll do this. I'm not talking at people, I'm talking to people like they are people. Like everybody wants to be talked to. I think everybody should work that way. It's not everybody's philosophy. But it worked for me and those kids. 20, 24 years later, they're still a part of my foundation, wanting to go into other communities and help rebuild baseball fields. You'll know when you have that special kid in your class, because something will twist your heart a little bit and you're like, I need to spend a little extra time with this kid. Happens all the time. Those kids are the kids we need to reach. If each one of you helps one, and look how many everybody is, and that's how many more kids are being helped. The tree grows. The power of one is the root. Everything else grows up from there. Remember, where you have leaves, you have roots. It's going to grow in both directions. We want to be on the leaf side. We want to chase those dreams. And I learned that from a group of high school kids. So you talk about the power of one. 100% of the time. These kids deserve it. Y'all deserve it too. This is why you got into this. You wanted to help. With so many different philosophies and voices speaking in these kids' ears, in person and over the internet, they need a calm voice talking them through this. My last story for you guys, because I know y'all have business to do. My grandparents taught me about faith. My grandparents taught me about respect, integrity, character. They also taught me about a sense of humor. I'm not trying to offend anybody because of my grandparents. They've got faith. I've got faith because of them. My senior year in high school, my grandfather fell in his menswear store one day. Cane walker, wheelchair within 6 months. Then diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. The brain works fine, the body doesn't listen to it anymore. Before the disease took my grandfather's voice, he and I are in the kitchen by ourselves one night. He's hooked up to oxygen, he's stooped over, he's got clay in his hands, trying to keep some dexterity. And I look at him, I'm 18, and I'm mad for him. I'm like, how could he go through this? He helps everybody. This is not fair. And so I throw an 18-year-old fit. And I said, why did God do this to you? I thought of the ugliest thing I could say. I threw his faith at him. Why did God do this to you? Why didn't he give this disease to somebody who deserved it? He took in some oxygen. He looked up at me the best he could and he said, "Son, I've worked my whole life to get to where I'm going. Where are you headed?" He never complained about the disease that was quickly taking his life. I watched a 6'3", 250-pound man carry a community on his shoulders. And then when he had Lou Gehrig's, I watched him do it from a wheelchair. The power of one is powerful. This is the grandfather who also taught me, have a sense of humor. Don't be so serious. Have fun with your life. The dream you start chasing may not be the one you end up loving the most. I'm in the store one day, my grandfather's in his wheelchair, I'm stacking shirts in his menswear store, they're folded, they're taped, I'm sticking them each one the way they go. I have a ruler because he wants it perfect. The door to the store opens, the buzzer goes off, he and I are the only ones there, he's in a wheelchair, I turn to see who it is, I fall off the ladder, I go through 3 shelves of shirts. Don't say that fast. I get up, I'm 18, my emotions are on my sleeve, I'm embarrassed, my cheeks are red, I probably got a tear in my eye, I turn around. My grandfather, suffering from Lou Gehrig's disease, is laughing so hard he almost falls out of his wheelchair. He looks at me, he goes, "Come here." And I walk over and he said, "Don't be so serious. It doesn't matter if you're president, it doesn't matter if you dig graves every day. The deal is if you're happy and if you're healthy and you can smile about the work you've put in." He said, "You go chase those dreams, but always have a number 2 option. And never forget to laugh." He said, "There are going to be times in your life when you make mistakes so bad, you're going to cringe, you're going to be embarrassed, you're going to cry. It's going to crush you. And the best advice I can give to you is when you do a mistake and everybody laughs at you, you laugh back." I said, "Why would I laugh at myself?" He said, "Because everybody will think you're crazy and they will leave you alone." Pitching against the Chicago White Sox, ESPN Sunday night game of the week, Frank Thomas is up at a time when Frank can really hit. 2 strikes. My catcher, John, calls for a slider. I come set in the stretch. As I lift my leg to make my move home and throw the ball, I catch a spike in my right shoe and a shoelace in my left shoe. I fall on a pitcher's mound in a packed stadium on national TV, face first into the dirt. And I would love to tell everybody that everything my grandparents taught me in probably what took less than a second, but it felt like it was 4 years in my head. Because you're trying to get your shoe out and everything you think of are things you cannot say. I fake dust myself off, I get back on the mound, I put my glove on, I look up. Frank Thomas is standing on top of home plate laughing hysterically. "I don't like you, dude." Behind him is John the catcher, he's my friend, his back is to me and all I see are his shoulders going up and down. I'm like, "I don't like you either." The umpire has his mask off, he's white, I'm like, "Dude." Everybody gets their composure back. Frank steps in. John gives me a sign. Says, "Play ball." I come set. I lift my leg. I do not trip. He takes it for strike 3. As he walks back to the dugout, he stops halfway and tips his cap, and I think, he is not that bad a guy. And then he winks at me and starts giggling. I'm like, "Nope, I don't like you." I watched him walk all the way back to the White Sox dugout. They're all laughing. "I don't like none of y'all either." I'll look at my dugout. "Ooh, I like y'all even less." Whole incident hasn't taken 2 minutes. Next guy, first pitch, ground ball to third, third to first, out. My 2 innings are over. I go into the locker room in less than 2 minutes. There's a sign on my locker. "Did you have a nice fall?" Underneath that was a videotape with a Post-it note stuck to the top of it that said, "Just a little gift from the guys from ESPN." 60 minutes of me falling down, forwards, backwards, fast, slow. Played during batting practice every day on the center field screen for an hour and a half. On the 5th day that it played, I turned around and I looked at it and I said, "You are not smart enough, you're not good enough, you're not healthy enough, this can't be done." And yet here I am. All because of one team, one coach, one married set of grandparents. The power of one can be positive positive, positive, but it can also be negative. We're here to instill life into our kids. Have fun with that. And remember that one kid who sits in the back and never looks at you? That kid may own an oil company later on in life. We don't know what they're going to do. It's our job to give them our best because that's the road we've taken. So power of one, people. Thank you all.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much to Mr. Morris and his inspirational words as he is able to lead our district in our Power of One vision for Spartanburg School District 7. And so I am just so thankful that we're all able to be together during this very important year with 7,100 students, 1,500 employees, over 14 different schools and buildings. It's going to be an exciting year. And this is just a perfect unifying way to show our power of one. As we begin the program, we started a new tradition, so to speak, here in District 7, with having our District 7 Teachers of the Year and their respective schools bringing in their flags. And this is something that I imagine that we will continue to do in District 7 moving forward. And so we love our teachers, and our teachers are the ones that make it happen inside those classrooms each and every day. So not only do you inspire your students, but you inspire your colleagues and those that work around you each and every day. So we love our teachers and thank you so much for being a part of this today. Each year in our opening convocation, as you know, we always recognize our Teachers of the Year, and I will be doing that in your schools, recognizing those Teachers of the Year. But today, we will be recognizing our District Teacher of the Year for Spartanburg School District 7. Dr. Kira Reeves, our Chief Human Resource Officer, she is going to join me as well as we are able to gift these flowers and a plaque to our District 7 Teacher of the Year. So at this time, I need a drum roll, please. The 2021 District 7 Teacher of the Year is Miss Kelly Hardegree, kindergarten teacher from Pine Street Elementary School. Miss Hardegree, if you would please come forward and join us. Woo! Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. This is yours. And this is yours. And congratulations to Kelly. Yep, absolutely. And so this is an important year for our students, our families, and it is an important year for Spartanburg School District 7. And it all begins on Monday as those kiddos come crashing through the door. So all of our schools have been very silent over the summer, and quite frankly, for the past 16 months, it's been very quiet in our schools. And so we're looking forward to Monday morning and the energy and life that will be brought to our District 7 schools. So if you would join me in wearing your Power of One t-shirts on the very first day of school, there's not a better way to show our students, our community, that we really are joined together as one as we wear our Power of One t-shirts. And so I want to make this a powerful year, and I know you will, and I'm looking forward to it. Best of luck to you all. Hello, District 7, and welcome to the 2021-22 school year. I was wrong, wasn't it? When we will show the world. This year, I ask each of you to find something from within your heart that will allow you to be the very best that you can possibly be. To find your power of one, is what I should have said. Is it still rolling? I ask each of you to, to reach from within. All right, I'm doing it again. Of one maintenance person.
But that was much better, though.
Yeah, you got it.
That was.
I was trying to remember the maintenance. I didn't remember maintenance. Okay.
That was.
The power of one. I forgot to smile, Beth. Gosh. Okay, I'm not doing that again. That'll have to do.